Many of us are familiar with the fables and folklore that have long associated the full moon with peculiar behaviors and mysterious phenomena. From werewolves to sleepwalking, these lunar legends have captivated our collective imagination for centuries. Now, let's bring dementia into the mix. Affecting millions worldwide, dementia presents a complex puzzle that scientists are still trying to piece together. It's a condition that not only challenges those diagnosed, but also their dedicated caregivers, who navigate the unpredictable tides of memory loss and cognitive decline. So could there be a connection between the moon's phases and dementia symptoms? Could lunar cycles somehow influence these cognitive tides? It's a compelling question, one that straddles the line between science and mythology. Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of science and myths to uncover the truth about the full moon and dementia. But first, hit that like button and stay tuned. The full moon has been a subject of fascination and speculation for centuries. But what does science say about its impact on dementia patients? Let's delve into the mysteries of the lunar cycle and its potential effects on the human mind. The concept of lunacy, the idea that the moon can induce madness, has roots in ancient cultures. The term itself comes from the Latin word luna for moon. Historically, people have attributed erratic behavior to the full moon, creating a narrative that has persisted to this day. But what does modern science say? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Some studies do suggest a correlation between the lunar cycle and changes in human behavior and physiology, particularly sleep patterns. For instance, a study published in Current Biology found that around the full moon, people tended to go to sleep later and had less deep sleep. This could potentially affect dementia patients, whose sleep patterns are often already disrupted. Yet, other studies challenge this notion. A comprehensive review in the Psychological Bulletin found no reliable evidence linking the lunar cycle to human behavior, including mental disorders like dementia. When it comes to mood swings, another common claim associated with the full moon, the evidence is also ambiguous. A study in the Journal of Affective Disorders found no substantial link between the lunar cycle and mood disorders. However, it did note that the belief in the moon's influence might induce a placebo effect, causing people to perceive changes where none exist. So you see, the science is complex and far from conclusive. While some studies suggest a link between the full moon and changes in sleep and behavior, others refute these claims. The full moon's impact on dementia patients remains a topic of ongoing research and debate. While the evidence seems mixed, it is clear that the full moon continues to captivate our curiosity and scientific interest. After a deep dive into the research, what can we conclude about the full moon's influence on dementia patients? Well, we've put our heads together and dissected the evidence. We've unpacked the scientific studies, sifted through the anecdotes, and scrutinized the theories. We've looked at whether the gravitational pull of a full moon could have an impact on the human brain, just like it does on the tides. We've considered the idea that the extra light from a full moon might disrupt sleep patterns, which we know can exacerbate dementia symptoms. We've even pored over historical beliefs and folklore that link the full moon to erratic behavior. So what's the verdict? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. There are studies that suggest a correlation between the full moon and increased agitation in dementia patients. There are also personal accounts from caregivers who swear they've seen changes in behavior during this lunar phase. However, it's important to remember that correlation doesn't necessarily mean causation. On the flip side, there are plenty of studies that found no significant link. Some argue that the perceived effect might simply be down to confirmation bias. We expect to see a change, so we do. And that's where we hit a roadblock. The evidence is contradictory, and there's a lot of it. We need more comprehensive, controlled studies to really get to the bottom of this. We need to rule out other factors that could be at play, like changes in routine or environmental factors. We also need to understand more about how dementia affects the brain and how external factors might interact with this. In short, we're left with more questions than answers. There's a tantalizing hint that there might be something to this full moon theory, but it's far from proven. Please like this and subscribe to our channel. Whether the light of the full moon can sway the minds of dementia patients remains a question. But one thing is certain: our quest for understanding the mysteries of the universe and the human mind continues.